Hey gang, Ronan here. As you can see in this game, I am playing the Tier 10 Pan-European destroyer Holland. This is an all Tier 10 match. Matchmaking, well, it's not horrible. It's not great. There is a CV on either team. That's always a challenge for any destroyer, even Holland, even with the relatively good AA that the Holland brings to the game. You can see that there's not much in the way of radar to have to worry about. That's a big plus. DD threats, well, Gearing, Shimakaze, and another Holland. There's also a Gearing and another Holland on my team in this game, which is really great. I ended up with in this game about 20. Let's see, I wrote it down here. 2,452 base XP. The other Holland on my team actually was the top of the scoreboard in this game. I was number 2. He had 2,683 XP, base XP, and that came at least in part on the back of his eating a lot more aircraft than I did. I think his total aircraft shot down was over 30. I think mine was around 20. We'll see here, but yeah, I played this game maybe a week ago, and this is the first chance I've had to get back to look at it. Really a fun game to play. This was the kind of game that just keeps me coming back. I did let the AA work there. Just, you know, there were at least a couple of other ships with their AA going on top. Well, maybe I can help. There was only 1 or 2 aircraft there. I figured they'd get shot down pretty quickly. I didn't want to use the defensive fire at that point. And Des Moines pops radar and lights up the enemy Holland right off the bat. That's always a wonderful thing. Now where I'm at, there's an island between me and the Des Moines. So I think I'm probably safe here. But Holland's torpedoes are very, very quick, so if I'm wrong, there's not a whole lot of room for me to get out of the way. But yeah, he decided to hold on to the torps rather than throw them because the island was there, and I'm sure the Des Moines he could see, and he can see the Colombo behind me. Now the torpedoes on the Holland, they reload really quickly. Granted, they don't do a whole lot of damage, but they create a lot of opportunities for flooding damage. Now this Zhao, if memory serves, he did a great job of not getting blapped. He's got a broadside shot on the Des Moines. Des Moines really lucked out there. So, because these torpedoes reload so quickly, and you've probably experienced it, you know, you eat a torpedo, you think, okay, well, I'll repair the damage. And then a minute or so later, boom, you get hit by another one, and if it floods, well, you're going to have to wait a little while until you can stop that. Now you can see the other Holland on my team. He's way, way down there. What is it, I2, H2, somewhere in that ballpark down there. But he's putting in some work where he's at. And keep an eye on where the enemy aircraft are for the majority of the game. Right now they're trying to beat up the Gearing, keep him from getting the cap. Now I'm tracking the Zhao here, but I have to be careful because the Zhao has torpedoes, and it's possible because he's still detected, he might be thinking, okay, if I throw torps behind me, maybe I catch whatever DD is keeping me lit. And that's really all I'm doing right now, is just trying to keep him lit. He's returning fire because he is lit, he might as well. The friendly CV is going to bring some planes out this way.
Torpedoes dead ahead.
And there are the Zhao torpedoes, kind of as expected. Now, you see what the CV did there, and I know that, you know, that comes from the goodness of his heart that he put a fighter over the top of me. But nothing says, hey, we have a destroyer here, like dropping an aircraft on top of it. Now, it's one thing if I've got aircraft over the top of me or I'm detected. if you're playing a CB and you see a situation where you have a DD that's obviously in trouble, oh, that Colombo, I think he went nose into the island, and then it's going to hurt. If you have a DD that's in trouble, absolutely, and it's a treasured gift when you drop a fighter like that. Otherwise, you're just kind of telling everybody there's a destroyer there, and you can see everybody turned out. Everybody turned and created a line that would allow them to avoid torpedoes. The Montana, the Zhao, both. Thunderer, well, it's a little different story. I think he's running for the island, but as soon as that fighter got dropped, comment there in the chat box, and it happens. And again, I know that the CV captain at that point, he was just thinking, you know, I'm going to help out the DD here, and it was a very kind thing to do because he's only got a certain number of those fighters. So I'm certainly not, you know, mad at the player for doing that, but it allows me here to highlight it here and say, you know, if your DD's not spotted, you're kind of telling everybody, hey, DD right here. Yeah, Venezia is too smart for this. Or is he?
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Well, we're going to find out. Enemy CV still going after our Gearing. Gearing was able to secure the cap. He's chasing an enemy Holland right now. Our Gearing is really putting in some early work. And my torpedoes, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Thought I might be able to do something out on that flank, but it ended up that I wasn't able to do much of anything, really. Now, Shima crossing here, and we got a whole bunch of ships. So I think we can expect torpedoes from the Shima. Montana finishes off Venezia. That's the bad guys down 2 ships. Our Gearing goes down to the Shima, and our Gearing takes out the Shima. So we're down 1 ship. Shima makes 3 ships gone now for the bad guys. And the Shima being gone means the doors open a lot more for me here to get in a little bit closer and maybe start landing some torpedo hits. Detection radius on this thing right now is decent, but not great. Shima does have better detection, and a well-played Shima, you might never see him, and he might keep you lit for his team long enough to get you sunk even with your heel. Vermont takes out the Des Moines. That's those big Vermont guns. Hoping to avoid getting hit here so we can secure the cap, but the Colombo, he's just going to continue to get beat on. At this point, I'm thinking he's probably dead. I mean, there's not a whole lot anybody can do. He's going to push in, and now he's showing broadside to about half of their team. So I'm just kind of writing him off. Now, you know, I'd love to be wrong. You can see the enemy Colombo, he was a little upset about destroyers. Still trying to get this cap. Our Colombo is still alive, at least for now. But that's changed. Don't want to fire or give myself away until I've got the cap. And you can see the CB did it again. Dropped another fighter on me, just told the entire team, enemy team, here's where our destroyer's at. And there was no need. There was nothing that was going to spot me. I do manage to land a couple torpedoes despite that. Now I have to get away from where these aircraft are. Just throw these out because by the time I get around the island, I'll be reloaded anyway. Get out here on this flank and try and do what I was doing originally, which was try and keep them boxed in back there. Enemy Holland pushes up close enough for me to get the guns working, and I've got such a big HP advantage here that I just, I'm going to try and finish him off.
Problem solved, sir.
Enemy destroyer blown up.
So that's my first ship sunk. You can see the other Holland on the team. He's already sunk 2 ships. And you can see the CV is paying a lot of attention to him at this point in the game. Which is weird, given that they have to have known kind of where I was because of the fighters getting dropped on me. But maybe, you know, maybe that dissuaded the enemy CV, and maybe I should just shut up and thank our CV player for doing that. I mean, I know it was... I know it came from a great place. He's a team player, obviously, and it's been long enough now I don't remember, but I'd like to think that I gave him a +1 because even though sometimes it'll give away my position, I know anytime a CV player does that, he's doing that to be a team player. Yeah, that Montana felt a disturbance in the force and was able to dodge all the torps. Now, with any luck, I'll be able to get a solo cap here. That's always some nice juicy XP. And now, you know, if you take a look at the minimap, we really do have a beautiful crossfire setup. The other Holland and myself, Anonymous 50 and myself. And now the enemy CV is going to come over this way.
Victory is in sight.
And since I don't have smoke, I don't want to get caught out here where everything they have left can see me. We're down 5 ships, the bad guys are down 6. And although we have a really commanding points lead because we have all the caps,
Team has taken the lead.
you know, the game's not over. And I am detected, so I'll get the AA working.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are...
And just try and avoid taking any damage. You can see while all that's going on, I do manage to land 5 torpedoes from my drop there. Vermont, Hindi, well, snuggle time, I guess. Now the bad guys have they've pushed into some caps now. I think they must have realized, hey, you know, we're not doing bad on ship count necessarily, but there's no way we win. The bad guys have every cap. Now I'm just trying to angle up here to avoid taking as much, take as little damage as possible, but I've got to try and get around this corner. I'll put out the fire. The aircraft are gone. And I'll throw some torps out in Indy's face. And another batch for Vermont. And the curve first looks like he's coming this way. And you can see we've got basically our entire team kind of in just a handful of squares. Fortunately for us, that the enemy team is kind of doing the same thing. But the CV now is paying attention to me. He's been spent most of the game tracking our other Holland after harassing the gearing early. So I'll just do what I can, try and keep those planes from being able to drop our guys over there. Well, that's hugely disappointing. Vermont is a huge target. Now, that's a little bit of an eye-opener. The Kurfürst is, well, it's taken out our Montana, and suddenly, though we have still a commanding points lead and caps lead, well, caps lead's gone now, and now they have more ships than us, and they're pushing. Hindi, of course, has excellent hydro, which makes it a little bit more challenging to land torpedoes. Not impossible, but
Engine boost
a
deactivated.
little more challenging because he has quite a bit of time to adjust his course. Now, I do not want to get caught by the Hindi here, so I've got to run. And you can see the CV is about to light me up. I'm thinking I've got to get behind an island. Just survive the first blast or two and get behind an island. I've still got 2 heels. See, I'll wiggle the ship here, try and make myself a difficult target. Aircraft are gone. We're down to 4 ships. Some blind fire there. Now the Kurfürst, he goes down to the friendly Holland, who's just doing a fantastic job. And I'll lend what guns I have to the effort to kill off this Hindi. And down he goes. Torps are back up. Kurfürst is, he's definitely in harm's way there. You can see there Vermont, Thunderer, and Montana are kind of all in a row. And, yeah, that spells disaster for our Kurfürst. So at this point, we're down to 3 ships. Bad guys are down to 4. We've got a big points lead. There's 3 minutes and 19 seconds left. Our friendly Holland on the team, he can run for the Bravo cap. I'm hoping our Mino can avoid getting blapped. There's a whole lot of big shells out there in the form of the Vermont, Thunderer, and Montana. Enemy CV's still in the game. Ours is gone. So I think I have to harass these guys and give them something to do other than chase after the Mino. And I have a feeling that the captain of the other Holland had a similar idea. I'm just trying to get eyes on somebody right now. Well, the enemy CV is headed right for our Holland. And I've got a Thunderer in my face and he's coming right at me.
Engine boost activated.
I'm gonna get detected here, but I'll switch to guns here and I'll just hey, look at that. There's a Holland right there. The torpedoes are probably on the way. You're about to get torped. Just give him something to think about and throw some torps out for the Montana.
Fire.
And second batch for Vermont.
Problem solved.
See if I can go dark before I get sunk. And our Mino is throwing his torps out there as well. This is almost over. As long as I don't get sunk, as long as Mino doesn't get sunk, we've got this game in the bag. And this was a really fun game to play. Could have gone either way. And the red team made a really good try to come back there. Those of you joining me, I really appreciate it. I know you got choices of where to find your entertainment. And I'm grateful that you spent a little time here. How's that? Yeah, there's not going to be enough time for me to get any torpedoes on anybody else. So I will just say thanks again. I appreciate you spending some time. And I'll see you next time.